Anna worked late in the magnificent kitchen, which was always noisy. Pots banged, chefs yelled, and steam hissed even after the last guest left. The work was never over. Dishes were piled high, smeared with remains of expensive meals. Tonight, Anna was so tired, she could barely stand. Her feet ached and her back screamed. All she wanted was sleep. She wasn't a cook anymore. She was a dishwasher, the lowest of the low. Sometimes, as she worked, flashes of another life came to her. A small, sunny kitchen, the smell of spices, and the joy of creating meals. That life as a chef seemed far away now, lost in a blur of bad luck. The dishwashing area was a grimy world of cracked tiles and greasy air. Something rebellious sparked inside Anna. She took the ingredients and began to create, improvising on the spot. The leftover sauce, a forgotten piece of fish, some wilted herbs meant for compost. It was not a recipe, not a dish from her bright days. It was a survival instinct mixed with desperate joy. Anna worked quickly, her movements honed by years of skill. The sink was always full. Surrounded by scraps and broken plates, something sparked inside Anna, a tiny flicker of rebellion and hope. The gleam of the spotless front kitchen and fancy food was not her world, but scraps were scraps even here. Tonight, a cracked little plate lay amidst debris. Most days, that cracked plate would go straight into the trash, but exhaustion had seeped into her bones, and a flicker of something stirred inside her. The pale and layered fish became the center of attention. The sauce turned into a whirlwind of richness on the white porcelain, and the herbs added bright specks of color. It wasn't beautiful, but it was hers. The first plate was ready, but something pushed her to continue. The next plate was cracked with a pink spot, a couple of forgotten shrimps, a spoonful of sauce with a hint of spice she couldn't quite identify. Each creation was different, born out of necessity, quiet resistance to a pile of scraps. 3 plates, small masterpieces among the waste. The kitchen was a whirlwind around her. Orders, the clatter of pans. She was a shadow in this chaos. But with finished creations in her heart came a lightness she hadn't felt in a long time. For a long time there was silence, then the cursed bell announced the next dish. All 3 of her plates disappeared into the chaos. What if in this absurdity, one of her creations reaches the table? The plates will never lead to her, will not open the way to a better position at El Magnifique. Even if these plates bring a spark of joy, her life and work will not change. Anxiety faded, giving way to quiet determination. In a dirty corner, among endless plates, she found a way to reclaim a part of her former life. True passion, even if only crumbs, moments snatched from routine. But these moments were hers. The evening rush was in full swing, a symphony of shouts, and the sizzling of pans filled the air. Silence fell over the Le Magnifique restaurant. By the window at the main table, guests froze, waiters stood stunned. All eyes turned to one person, a man with silver hair whose aura filled the room. drew attention without raising his voice. This was Monsieur Dubois, the city's most influential critic. Dubois was known for his sharp critiques and rare moments of praise. Today seemed to be exactly such a rare moment. He theatrically called the head waiter. His voice was surprisingly quiet, but his words cut through the remaining whispers like thunder on a clear day. My compliments to the chef responsible for this extraordinary creation. Such a bold play of flavors is proof of true culinary talent, he said. These words hung in the air, like an explosion shaking the heart of the establishment. Chef Jacques, the undisputed king of Le Magnifique, hurried out of the kitchen. His usual mask of calm cracked, revealing a self-satisfied smile and a spark of genuine bewilderment. Jacques did not create bold dishes. His kitchen was about perfection, predictability, and luxury. Silence stretched, broken by the nervous laughter of one of the guests. Unsure how to react, Dubois seemed oblivious to the chaos he had created and continued to lavish praise on this ghostly dish. His words were vivid, describing flavors and textures with the precision of a poet and the passion of a true gourmet. Anna, from her dark corner, felt shock. Dubois was describing her dishes, created in a desperate act of rebellion. The temptation to declare her victory flared up. But reality was harsh. Jacques would never believe her. A simple dishwasher, claiming culinary genius, would face accusations of theft and lies. The threat of deportation was real. This was not a chance for ambition, but a struggle for survival. Suddenly, chaos began. Jacques moved from suspicion to barely concealed panic. The chefs were innocent, but frightened. The staff blamed each other for a mistake they did not understand. Anna watched as cruelty unfolded, the critics' praise turning into a tool of fear. Amid the commotion, Dubois calmly finished his dish, seemingly unaware of the storm he had caused. Jacques seized the moment, turning panic into a theatrical display of outrage. He promised to find the culprit, the hidden genius among them. Mystery and tension filled the air, preparing for the truth to be revealed. Anna dreamed of elevating her kitchen creations to their true place, despite vague promises of promotions and transformed careers that felt like empty lies. She knew if the creator was found, Jacques would take all credit, as he often did, claiming others' work as his own without remorse. Anna had witnessed this before. A sous chef's inspired creation rebranded by the pastry chef, passing delicate desserts off as Jacques' work. The temptation to claim the dish and take the credit was strong. It was dangerous, but also whispered promises of a different life. The critic, a man with the palate of a king, had been fooled and saw talent in Anna she hardly recognized herself. Yet the risk was real. The ever-present threat of deportation felt less theoretical and more immediate, stopping her in her tracks. The risk was small, likely exaggerated, but in that moment, it carried enough weight to freeze her, raising the stakes beyond a lost job. As the chefs grew frantic, Anna quietly slipped away. Her creation had caused chaos, but also revealed a crack in El Magnifique's perfect image. For now, that tiny crack was enough to disrupt the flawless facade presented to the world. The restaurant El Magnifique was not just a place for food. It became a symbol of an impossible quest for culinary perfection. Jacques, the critic, was a constant presence. Jacques' relentless scrutiny caused tension daily. His legendary rages felt like storms battering the kitchen staff, turning the space into a battleground of fear and frustration. Anna watched from the shadows, feeling both guilt and defiance. Jacques' dangerous desperation threatened everyone, yet his failures revealed the lie at the heart of El Magnifique. She helped secretly, without revealing her secret and without risking everything. Suddenly, an unusual delivery arrived. A box of fragrant herbs, rare for Jax's usual menu. Anna ran her fingers over the velvety leaves. It was a risk, a reckless move. Feigning clumsiness, she accidentally dropped the box, and the herbs spilled onto the floor. The bright greenery and rich aroma were impossible to ignore. Jax had to notice it. This act could have been the spark Dubois so longed for, or it could have led Jax to an even greater downfall. In any case, Anna did not want to remain a silent observer. The second tasting test was tense. Dubois lost his usual calm. His gaze became focused and tense. The waiters moved like frightened mice. Jax personally served the dish, sweat beading on his forehead despite the air conditioning. The dish looked almost like the original thanks to the herb Anna had accidentally forgotten to add. Something was wrong. Anna, hiding in the corner, noticed a slight frown on Dubois' face, a sign that he sensed the difference. The dish was not bad, but it lacked the spark that once captivated him. It was a copy, not the original. A difficult choice appeared: stay silent or reveal everything. Before she could overthink, Anna stepped out of the shadows. The kitchen stopped. Every eye turned to her, filled with confusion and a hint of desperate hope. "I made that dish," she said, her voice surprisingly strong. "And I can make it again." The silence grew so thick, it felt almost tangible. Then Jacques scoffed loudly, his face red with anger. "Ridiculous," he shouted. A dishwasher claiming such a creation was unthinkable, but a glint sparked in Dubois' eyes. The same curiosity that had driven him to return night after night. His intrigue shone through. "Perhaps we should see a demonstration," he said, looking at Jacques. "It would be a pity to waste such potential." Jacques choked on a protest, but Dubois held his gaze firmly. Defeated, Jacques gestured harshly toward the kitchen. "Fine," he said. "Prove yourself, dishwasher." Anna took center stage. It was not about fame, but about no longer being invisible. It was about proving to herself and others that she was more than just a cog in the large, complex machine of the restaurant. Finally, she was doing what she loved without fear of consequences. It was not just about ingredients, but about years of forgotten skills and suppressed passion. In this second chance, she put all her energy. Dubois, tasting the dish, realized it was not the work of a trained chef, but a talent ignited by circumstances. His words of praise were sincere. He found culinary magic born not of privilege, but of hardships that forged her spirit and skills. Jacques, watching the critic's reaction, felt a different heat, distinct from the stove. His surprise turned into cold calculation, realizing the threat in Anna's face. This dishwasher was a threat, proof of his own failures. He stepped forward, claiming Anna's work as inspiration from his own genius. Dubois saw the lie, could not help but notice the fear in Anna's eyes as Jacques wove a web of deceit. But the critic remained silent. He could not fight this battle for her. Instead, after the performance, the critic approached Anna with an offer. It was not a path to fame or fortune, but a small stage where real food mattered. It was a lifeline, a fragile thread of hope in a place where there had been none before. Anna left El Magnifique that night without feeling triumphant. It was neither the complete victory she might have imagined, nor a simple surrender. In the battle of talent and ego, she lost only a small fight. She lost the battle, but not the war. The end of her story was not a fairy tale, but also not the last page of her life. Perhaps it was just the start of another path, more difficult, but paved with persistent hope. The kind known only to the desperate and the unconquered.